Bunny, and it is time for everybody's favorite day of the week. And that is the day of the week when we ask ourselves, does this thing really work? Today, we're gonna be testing out a brand new makeup-y tool, kind of sponge applicator type thing, the sponge. I've gotten a lot of requests to test this thing out, and I really didn't know if it should be a first impression Friday video or a does this thing really work, but since it's kind of like a device type thing, I thought we would just find out if this thing really works. This is a brand new device that exclusively is sold at Ulta, and it was developed by a makeup artist, somebody with much more knowledge than I. If you guys remember, I did an Ulta haul like a month ago before I went out of town and then somehow lost all of October. I got this and I told you guys I was gonna test it out. This device costs $54 and it comes with the thing itself and two different types of sponges. This device is for putting on your foundation, and it supposedly works equally as well with liquid foundation or powder foundation, and we're gonna try both on both halves of my face today. This fluffier one, this is all the knowledge that I just received from the back of the box. This fluffier type sponge is for powder foundations, and then this sponge that is already on the device that looks a little bit flatter. Let me do a side-by-side comparison, but this flatter one is for liquid foundations and the fluffier one is for powder foundations. And I am literally an insane person because I had no idea how this would possibly work with powder foundation. I thought that you would have to like dump some foundation like into the sponge and then it would like leak through. I think that there was like a drugstore foundation or a drugstore concealer that worked that way, that dispensed the product through the sponge. The sponges, if you have acne kind of skin, I really have mine under pretty good control right now, knock on wood, but I would still kind of consider my skin to be very blemish prone and very sensitive, and they recommend changing the sponges out after every 7th or 9th use if you have really sensitive acne prone skin. Or they say that if your skin is pretty okie dokie and you don't get too many face demons, then you can use the sponge for up to 1 month as long as you kind of sanitize it with little alcohol wipes in between. The refill sponge packs are $9 a piece. I did a little online research, and I'm not sure if you can buy like individual packs of the fluffy ones or individual packs of the flat ones. The world may never know, but when I looked online, the refill packages are $9. I don't know, you guys are gonna have to tell me down below if y'all think that that is expensive or not. I used to only apply my foundation with sponges until I got on YouTube and then discovered that makeup brushes were available. I just kind of like wash my brushes and use them forever. So I'm not really sure about the prices of disposable sponges anymore, and if that's kind of more than usual, less than usual, about the same. There's a pull tab on the back because for once, thank the angels in heaven, the batteries are included in this device. And let's turn it on. Ooh, I do kind of feel it. It is like a vibrating thing. Do you hear the vibrations? It's like a little back massager, but for your face. So basically, since this thing vibrates and moves so quickly, they say that it offers you, where was that number? I think something like 15 billion. 15,000, where did I read that? 15,000 pulses per minute. And it's really supposed to simulate, get ready for the creepiness, it's supposed to simulate like if 15,000 fingers were simultaneously tapping your foundation on at once. That's the kind of coverage you're supposed to get. So I'm gonna try a liquid foundation first because that is what is already on the device. And I'm going to try a NARS foundation that I just felt like trying. I've never tried it before. I am just going to squirt a little bit onto this sponge at first, and I'm actually gonna rub this with my finger, even though that's probably highly unsanitary. I did just wash my hands. But they say to kind of prevent having to use more liquid foundation product than you normally would, you're supposed to season the sponge, meaning you're supposed to cover it with a small amount before you get started so that the makeup sponge has kind of already sucked up some of the product. Does that make any sense? I think you're only supposed to have to do this process one time with each sponge ever. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more product now that I've seasoned the sponge and cooking up a sponge for dinner. Also, I will just say I cheated a little bit and I watched a demo for this just because I wanted to see like how fast people were doing their face with this. And I kind of thought it would be like a slow process, but people on the computer are just like doing it real fast. So let's find out. Oh my goodness. Can you guys hear this? Like when you touch it to your face, like the vibrating noise, like it changes and makes just, oh, I hope you guys can hear this. Okay. Do you hear that? I don't know. I have to admit, I'm not so nervous about like coverage on my cheeks or like other flat areas of my face, but I am kind of concerned about how you use this tool to like do the nose area. It's actually a lot less frightening than what I imagined. I feel like I'm actually getting in the little crevice of my nose. It does kind of like tickle, like it's tickling my nose right now. I always make everything sound like so crazy and violent. Okay, so what do you guys think? This half has the product on it. This half does not. Does this half of my face look more flawless? So the only thing that I would say, because I'm kind of seeing on my cheek, and I hope that you guys can see this on camera, but it looks like right here, like maybe I was a little bit too heavy-handed with this device, and maybe like I kind of rubbed some of the product off instead of applying it. But I really think that it looks good on like my chin area and my forehead. You're supposed to be able to just gently pull the sponge off gently to switch sponges. Now we're gonna test out a powder foundation, and for that I'm going to be using a new Bare Minerals foundation that I got. And I should say new, I've used this foundation before, but they recently came out with this awesome huge holiday sized foundation, so I got this super large one for a good deal. This is gonna be kind of tricky, and I didn't see anyone online using a powder foundation with this device, so I guess I'm just gonna try and pick up some of the product on the sponge. I'm gonna turn it on. Oh, okay, and the powder looks like it's kind of shifting off of this just a little bit. Like, we do have a little bit of fallout on the device. I don't know if you guys can see or not, but let's try and apply. Ooh. I'm really quite impressed with this. Okay, so I'm just realizing I did something super stupid, and they were having a really awesome sale on the Bare Minerals foundation the other day in this special holiday packaging, and I got me one, which I got Fair, which is the lightest shade, and my mom is a little bit tanner than me, and so I got her light, and I think it's like a golden light kind of shade, and I accidentally just grabbed hers instead of mine. So I'm just now realizing I was putting this on and I'm like, why does this look so dark? It's never looked this dark before. So this is not the correct shade for my face. It's one shade darker at least than what I normally wear, so I apologize for my little snafu. But let's pretend that I'm a tanner person, because I will say I am really impressed with this for applying powder foundation. I don't see any missed spots or any streaks, and I kind of think I did this side a little bit better and a little bit easier than this side, but with all devices, I do think that there is a small amount of learning curve. I would definitely use this for powder foundation probably more than I would liquid foundation. The most important thing I would have to say is just making sure that you're kind of just gently resting it on top of your face and kind of letting the little vibrations do the work instead of like pushing down and trying to apply. That's something I personally struggle with. Like sometimes I feel like I'm too heavy-handed when I'm applying things. You guys comment down below and let me know if you think it's worth $54 or not. I definitely think that this is a fun tool and I'm all about beauty tools and trying new things. You think that you'll buy this tool, that you would use this tool? I guess it's really just like on an individual basis if it personally would work for everyone or not. Thank you guys so much for watching today and for hanging out with me, spending a little time together on the swamp. If you're not already and you'd like to be, hit that button down below, subscribe, become a member of the swamp family, and give an alligator its wangs. Also, if you want, you can like me on Facebook, facebook.com/graveyardgirl, or you can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, or Instagram at graveyardgirl, same way it's spelled here. I love you guys so much, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye!